Feel free to try some.
Hey Fruitbats, welcome to another episode. I know I've been a little bit absent lately, had a big week here in Adelaide with the Tour Down Under, but I'm back and we're going to get into some videos and some reactions, and today's video is on Nikki Phillippi. So I've only really heard of Nikki Phillippi through a few other channels, like through Christina, did like some collab with her, and you know, she pops up occasionally. But a few of you have been asking me to make a video, just a quick reaction video to her 3 easy and healthy dinner ideas. So I had a look through this video, and the first thing is she's sponsored for this video, okay, which is really, yeah, it's disappointing when you're including foods that aren't meant to go in the human body and you're being sponsored for it. So let's just check out this recipe here for a start.
Success! On to recipe number 2. This is pan-seared steak with butternut squash and green bean almondine, I think that's what you call it. So these are all the ingredients you're going to need, and I'm spreading out my butternut squash onto a pan with some olive oil. And
So the butternut squash is a great start. You don't have to drown it in olive oil. As a lot of you know, you can just like chop up some potatoes, some sweet potatoes, chuck it in the oven, and you know, put on some baking paper, and she's right. You know, that's all you need to do. You don't have to drizzle the oil over, because the oil just goes to your ass or to your belly or to wherever, your arms. It's just going to make you bigger, even though yes, it is a plant food, but oil is not a health food, so you're best to just leave it out of your diet. If you have it occasionally, it's okay, don't freak out, but just don't add it to your food. So let's get going.
Peeled off the leaves from the thyme, chopped it up, put it with the butternut squash with some salt and pepper, and put it in the oven at 350. Now, while those were cooking, I cut off the stems from the green beans, and then while I was doing that, Dan started cooking the steak on the stove top, and then about halfway through the butternut squash cooking, about 15 minutes in, I pulled it out of the oven and added the green beans to the mix, popped those back in, and he took the steak off the stove. So then it was time to make the sauce for the steak. So we added
the steak, it is part of a cow. It's just so like desensitizing how we call it a steak, even though it was a cow, a living, breathing, beautiful animal, but we detach from that fact by calling it a steak or you know, a cutlet or something like that, which makes us feel like, oh, we're just eating like a product, we're not eating an actual animal. Sad.
With a cup of water, the vegetable stock, some thyme and parsley, a tablespoon of butter, let that simmer, and then voila. So when you cut open the steak...
Okay, so for a start, that's a lot of salt and a lot of fat. So that salty, fatty, you know, sauce flavor masks the actual flavor of the animal that you're eating. So, you know, no one ever just eats it plain, do they? You know, and those people who do, they always going to have something, you know, with flavor later on to make up for it. But this is just like, look at this beautiful animal being cut up. Just why? Why? I ask why. Why bother when you can have so many beautiful plant foods? Anyway, I'm going to go off on a tangent, so here we go.
He realized it was still kind of raw, so we popped all the individual steak pieces back on the stovetop to cook a little more. And
so she said we realized it was raw, so we put it back on to cook more. But if you were designed to eat the flesh of another animal like carnivores and omnivores are, then you would relish the raw meat. You would be just like, I love the blood, I love the fur, I love the, you know, the veins and the bone and everything. Just gimme, gimme, gimme. But no, we don't like that. We don't like the rawness. We want to cook it out. And that just says a lot. That says a lot as to whether you're meant to be eating that food or not. You got to listen to these signals. Listen to them. Okay, no other omnivore or carnivore will eat, you know, will cook their meat. So
then we pulled the green beans and butternut squash out of the oven, added the almond slivers to the mix, plated the dish, put the sauce on top, added a little more parsley, and voila. All right, everyone, bottoms up.
Oh, voila. You know, like just so detached from what it actually is. As long as there are animals being sliced up, sliced and diced, then I'm going to be speaking up. And for Nikki Phillippi to put this recipe in a healthy, easy and healthy dinner ideas is just so irresponsible with what we know about red meat and how unhealthy, red meat in particular, and how unhealthy it is for the body. I'm just shocked she would include it in a video that says healthy dinner ideas because it is far from healthy. Nikki, you're actually spreading heart disease around. You're spreading arthritis, diabetes, cancer. How do you feel about that, girl? You gotta wake up. This is serious shit. Our population is just dropping like flies. We've got over 17 million people every year dying from cardiovascular disease related to their diet. So you're just spreading more disease. You're spreading more cruelty, and you gotta wake the fuck up. You really, really do. So
I'm pretty excited.
I don't even want to watch them enjoy this because it's sickening to me, okay? And I know she may not be aware of what she's doing, and that's fine, but that's why I'm here to raise